sorry that I can't keep it together. Maybe it's the trauma, or maybe it's the drugs. I can't seem to control my fucking temper. But the problem lies in not being enough. I lost my sense of humor in the battle for my mind. Now I'll slip away with one last puff this time. Substance suicide, assisted by my fickle friend. I'll finally lose my mind. Substance suicide, only time with no regrets is letting myself die. Forgive me for the outburst with your neighbors. My actions don't reflect what's in my soul. I never found the right way to relate or take in and display a better role. The chemicals that shape me are buried deep this time. My family's already given up, it's fine. Substance suicide, assisted by my fickle friend. I'll finally lose my mind. Substance suicide, the only time with no regrets, letting myself die. Substance suicide, assisted by my fickle friend. I'll finally lose my life. The substance suicide, the only time with no regrets is letting myself die. Is letting myself die.
There are many simple things in the world. Shovels. They are all different. Gardening shovel. Unloading shovel. Children's shovel. But there is also a different shovel. We use it when we come to the position. In short time, it helps us dig a trench which saves us from bullets. If a tank will pass over the trench, there is a high probability that it will not cause any harm to the soldier. We dig in the ground, deeper, and then connect the trenches with our friends to the left. In just a few hours, trenches are all connected. When we do not have an axe, we can use a shovel to cut a loaf of bread. A soldier uses a shovel as a paddle, crossing the wide river under enemy fire. If we run out of ammunition, we will use a shovel again, and then we'll move on. And when we get the order to stop, we'll take a shovel again and build around us an impregnable fortress. This fortress is defended by the army of Ukraine, our army.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings. I looked my woman in the eye sockets. I told her straight out. I just said it, man. I said it. I said, bitch, I'm the man of the house.
You said bitch, though. You called your wife a bitch.
Yeah.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker. Let's roll.
Oh yeah! Broadcasting live from the Functional Veterans Center of Excellence. Holy shit, it's already 1 December. Here's our W.T.F moments. W.T.F Nation Radio, the Monday edition. Sup, y'all? Man, oh man. I'm like fat, eating all the food and leftovers from Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a awesome Thanksgiving. Man, to quote the great poet Pumbaa from The Lion King, I eat like a pig. So stuffed. Oh man, yo, what's everybody? Oh, everybody's, whoa, what's going on? I see all these feeds going. Wait a minute, hang on. Wait a minute. Whoa, I think I got people in the, holy shit, wait, hang on. Whoa, what is it? I got people dropping in my feeds. Whoa, hang on. Wait. I got, holy crap, I got 1, 2, 3, 1. Damn, all right, let me get one and put this individual. You guys might know this individual. Holy shit. Oh, I'm in trouble because they're just like, what do I do now? There's one. There we go. Oh crap. Hey, look at you.
What's going on? That's what you get for giving away the password. I just went in here and hacked it. I hacked in. I was like, you know what? I feel like you need like some brighter faces on tonight. So hello, everyone.
I was about to say, wait, hang on. You got some friends. Hang on. Let me grab some friends.
I brought my friends with me. I was like, I'm not coming alone.
I was about to say, dude, hang on. Let me get some friends. All right. Yeah, this is okay. Hang on. Let me grab another friend. There we go. Holy shit. What is this? What's going on? All right. So there's another friend. All right. There we go. Let's see. Let me add another here. I'm at the crap. Janae, 3. Holy shit. This is what I'm talking about.
Can I say this is what we do? We crash the party.
I was about to say you crashed my shit. It's okay. Hang on. Let me grab another. Let me grab another one in here. Let me grab.
We almost have like the same color background too, so I planned this.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm not doing no.
Maybe if I can get some red going on here.
That's why I got red in the back. Hang on, let me.
There we go. Now I'm winning.
Oh crap! Hang on, let me get another one. I have 3 people in here.
There we go. Bring them in. Bring in my friends.
All right, let me.
We're just trying to spruce things. I heard you were gonna do a really boring monologue, and I was like, no, that's not. Pump the brakes. We got fun stuff to say here.
You meanie. Hang on. Okay, hang on. Let me grab another one here.
Did you forget how to work that? Or
no, I'm just trying. Only because I'm not used to 3 people jumping in. I'm kind of like used to only having, let me grab in here. It's not that I have. Yeah, it's like I have. There we go. Let me see if this one works. There. Holy man, we got man. Hang on. Let me add all these in here. After nobody get offended, mind you, if I fuck this up. Oh, nobody. You had me come on W.T.F Nation Radio, but you didn't let me do this. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want no vet on vet crime. All right, so here's another one. Look at that. Here we go. Bam. Holy shit.
Hey, thanks for letting me join the party.
Yeah, I was about to say, dude. Thanks for coming. All right, let me get another one in here. There we go. We're all overlapping on each other. So there we go. What is going on, people? How are you doing?
What's up? Thank you for having us. Thank you for letting us crash your party.
I was about to say, what's going on? All I hear is people going, shh. Yeah, hearing all this crunk. I'm like, what's going on behind the scenes? What's going on? What y'all doing?
Well, first off, thank you for letting us crash the party and not kicking us out. I wanted to just kind of hop in first off to add some flavor because you need a little bit of flavor on here
Oh my
tonight.
God, hang on, let me write
It's
this
the first
down.
of December, so hello. As you know, I'm with the Grunt Style Foundation, and we're partners with W.T.F Nation. Love you guys. You guys are our family. We all go out to these events together and do a lot of the work in the veteran community together. And so I thought I'd hop on and kind of introduce Will Wisner, who is the executive director of the Grunt Style Foundation, so that we could talk a little bit about the big day tomorrow. So if you don't mind, I'd kind of like to turn it over to most people already know me here. You guys are used to me, Janae Sergio. Will is a veteran, so maybe he can introduce himself, the organization, and then
because we were going to talk about Giving Tuesday, and is that why is that why you guys are coming on for Giving Tuesday?
I mean, who better than your favorite community partner?
Try not to add so much cheese to it, please.
Oh man, well, see, that's why I brought Will, because I was like, he's gonna come with more of like the grunt.
So who's the quiet dude in the ball cap?
That's you, Will.
That's Will, man. How you doing? Thanks for letting us crash the party, man.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, dude, you're not coming. You're coming in broken. There you go. Okay, now your signal's back. Okay. All right. So Will, and then who's the other guy again?
Right.
I'm Tanner Hance. I'm with Operation Wellness Shield.
What are you doing here? Wait a minute. You're the guest. Not supposed to be here for another hour.
I was told to jump into the green room. I was just joining. I think I got a little bit ahead of myself.
Well, I'm about to say, might as well. Well, okay. Well, I might as well do it. Hey, where'd he go? Where'd Will go?
Will out?
No, he's probably recharging. This is no. Hey, Tanner, welcome to W.T.F Nation Radio. Tanner Hance is supposed to be our guest for in another, supposed to be in the next hour, but since he was like, I think I'll jump in. So yeah, there you go. You're hey, nothing wrong with the impatience. Wait, where'd he go?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Instructions unclear.
No, it's all right. You said you're Rage Regiment, right?
I worked with them. I wasn't part of them.
Oh, okay. All right.
I guess I'll wait for Will to come back on if you want. I can get into Giving Tuesday and what's going on tomorrow.
Yeah. You're not going anywhere, Tanner. Stay here. So
yeah, Tanner. I don't take up too much of Tanner's time. So Ken, tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow is.
You can call me Ken. It's no big deal.
But I out you. Tomorrow is Giving Tuesday, and it's pretty much the most important day of the year for those of us who are out doing work in the community. It's an opportunity, kind of one of those last-ditch opportunities for those who are interested in supporting nonprofit work to kind of give their final campaign. And so we wanted to come on and share the work that Grunt Style Foundation is doing and ask your audience to consider us on Giving Tuesday when they are making their contributions for that last ditch for the year.
Somebody said that you guys are doing another event. We're doing another event again. Are we gonna come down to San Antonio? Is that some other event?
We've got events coming up in 2026. We'll definitely be keeping you posted with the events that we've got coming up. We're going to be actually doing events throughout the nation. And so I'll be making sure that we keep your audience posted. Many of your audience have been at our different events. And so we'd love to have you guys out to some of the stuff that we have coming up. And that's what we need help with, is really getting us to be able to put these events on. So a little bit about the work that we're doing. As you guys know, and you helped us, we have our War Cry for Change. That's our advocacy. Yep. The primary cause that we advocate against, which you and I are aligned in, and all of us are aligned in, is the overprescribing of our veterans. 68% of the veterans that are going to the VA are being prescribed what we call suicide pills, right? Yep. SSRIs and antidepressants, which increase the suicidal ideation rate. You shouldn't be going, as we've talked about, to the resource and then walking away with a pill that increases your rate for suicide. And so we are at the front of that fight. We actually have our legislative fellow who is out in DC right now as they're getting ready to submit testimonies on that. We also advocate for alternative healing modalities. We've been at the front of the a fight against hemp nationwide. We were at the front of the fight here in Texas. And
I was about to say, because Tanner's, I could see his head. The plastic is burning, the LED lights are going off, and the gears are rolling. This is like, I don't know, this is kind of like coincidence.
Am I speaking your language, Tanner? So
yeah, you definitely are.
Yeah, go ahead, Tanner. Shoot, go ahead, throw in an introduction, man. Go for it.
No, yeah. So my name's Tanner Hance, president of Operation Wellness Shield, brand new nonprofit. We just got 501c3 approval back in June, July timeframe. But some of our focuses are on fertility and fertility, hormones, genetic testing, mobility devices, and financial education targeted towards military, active duty veterans, and first responders. So I feel like there's a lot in common between kind of what we're targeting with health and wellness for our soldiers and veterans.
Right. I was about to say, dude, I think you guys need some exchange some information after you come on. So
we have multiple coalitions going on throughout the nation with our community, and we'd love to work with you and partner and see how we can work all this together, because that's what we need. We need more voices in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tanner, how'd you get started? Tell us about yourself, man. I was breaking balls about Ranger Regiment and JSOC a little bit earlier, but go ahead, send it. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, no worries. I joined the Army back in 2010. Joined as a EOD technician. I was stationed in Germany for 3 years out of EOD school, and after that, I assessed for a special mission unit out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, the 28th EOD. That's where I spent the past 10 years of my life. I did 5 deployments out of there, 4 of them with 375 Ranger Battalion. And after 5 deployments, moved into the training section due to some injuries, and eventually had hip surgery at 29 years old, and ended up med boarding out of the Army. I medically retired in June of 2022. Then, did the normal thing that soldiers do after they get out, did the contracting game for a while, stayed at the 28th, got to hang out with the bros and help that mission continue to be successful moving forward. But, kind of lost sense of direction after a while. As good as it was to hang out with the boys, it's always nice to find something to carry you on into the next phases of life.
Hell yeah, I hear you, man. It's like almost like a mission you got to get, got to give yourself a mission to keep it going so you're not wallowing in shit. But yeah, I'm sorry, continue.
No worries. After hitting 32 and still working nights and pretending like I was a soldier out training people on Fort Bragg ranges and suffering nightly, I decided it was time to give back a little bit more time to my family, and ended up moving down to Florida. Got away from Fort Bragg, and once I moved down here, reconnected with an old PL, and since I got out of the military, I was really yearning for a way to give back. Mm-hmm. And there was just, reached out to a few different nonprofits and had some unsuccessful attempts at getting linked up with them. A lot of places offering unpaid internships or volunteer positions, which is great, and I love to help out as much as I could, but I wasn't able to really give full time to that with still trying to support a family. Mm-hmm. So kind of got together with a group of friends. There was about 6 co-founders, and really targeted the things that I saw as I was in the military and transitioning out, and the lack of medical coverage that my fellow soldiers were experiencing. I also have a large law enforcement background. All of my family is law enforcement, all the way grandparents, parents, brothers and sisters. One of 12 kids, so I have an exceptionally large family.
Wow.
A lot of them are involved in law enforcement. So when we came up with this nonprofit, we didn't want to exclude anybody that served our nation and gives back.
Of course.
Especially since law enforcement and first responders run into a lot of the same issues that we do as military members.
Right. What I mean, did you start this off yourself, or was this just, did you have, hey, I think I'm going to start doing this, and like you said, linked up with a buddy, decided to, was this your own 501c3 to start on your own? I mean, what was the brainchild behind it?
No, definitely. It was with a group of friends. So it started out with 3 of us, and then as the little seed and just the talks kind of became an actual idea and a project that we wanted to start working on, we looked for other like-minded people. So our co-founder, vice president, and treasurer is a good friend of mine, Jarrett Brownfield. He is a West Point graduate. He served in the 28th EOD with me, I think from 2016 to 18. Also ended up medically retiring, went up to New York City, worked on Wall Street for a while, has a very good financial background. And then our marketing director, Kelly her husband is also a medically retired veteran. Her brother-in-law was severely wounded in combat 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. So a lot of experience in the mobility side of things. So she's really bringing a lot to the table for providing mobility and adaptive devices to people who need them.
That's you guys. You guys are rocking. What about? I mean, you just started, so you're just now starting to bloom, I guess you'd say, in the advocacy market. I don't want to say advocacy market, but in the biz, I guess you would say, because I don't know if you want to call it an advocacy market or advocacy for veterans or wellness. Well, I'm fucking it up. Wellness market, wellness, whatever. I'm like, it's just because there's a lot of guys that, or I should say not a lot of guys. A lot of groups start off and you don't know where they're going, or you don't know that they've been around for a while. That they've been around for such a long time, and then you're like, oh shit, where have you been? Where so you've only started this, what, not even a couple years?
No, actually we hit a year last month.
Yeah.
So just
wow.
We're at 13 months in about 2 more weeks.
Oh man, we just picked you from the rose bush. That's what I'm talking about. There you
go.
Yeah,
we had our launch event on the 15th of November in St. Pete, Florida.
Oh
and
man, congrats,
we're trying to keep some momentum going and actually get help to the people that need it.
Oh man, well, guess I was about to say, guess what just happened? Oh man, dude, this is so awesome. See, because Janae works with the Grunt Style Foundation, and Will finally, and glad you're back, bro.
Hey man, thanks.
Popped in here. We always work, on a lot of stuff like this, and like she was saying, the more we get the word out and the more we build a network, the better off. And I think this right here, I mean, stumbling upon, way to go, Janae, way to have a good idea. Stumbling upon, stumbling upon each other like this, I think this is great. The timing's perfect. And also Giving Tuesday, of course, don't forget Giving Tuesday. So as a matter of fact, let me drop your donation link inside the chats as well. As we're talking, I have your link and your donation link going on into the into the live chat. So the 2 YouTube pages and the 2 Facebook pages. X doesn't really do the links very well, so they're listening in. So you guys on X, go over to the Facebook pages and get the links. Will, all right, man, you're up on the plate. What's next? Don't go anywhere, Tanner. You're staying here, dude. You're
I'm here.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks again for having us. Much like anytime I go out on the social scene, I have to hide and follow behind Janae and kind of sneak in to the really cool clubs where normally they wouldn't let me pass the little hot guy check.
I know the velvet rope game. I know the velvet rope game, man.
Yes,
I know, brother.
that's what it is. And apparently that translates perfectly over to social media engagements as well. So thanks for letting me sneak in behind Janae.
Awesome. So tell how long you been with the Grunt Style Foundation?
Oh man, I've been here since December of 2021. So getting ready to hit 4 years.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Will's an Army veteran, has a really impressive story. Everybody at the Grunstyle Foundation has a story. This is personal to all of us. So Will has a really great story that kind of lends to why he does the work that he does.
What you got, Will? Come on, spill the beans.
No pressure, man. Yeah, I do have an interesting story. I never wanted to be in the nonprofit world. I never said, boy, when I get out of the military, I want to go into nonprofit stuff. It just, nothing sounds more dreary or dreadful. But the fact of the matter is the nonprofits are a pretty critical part of society, man. They are doing the work that the government either cannot or will not do. And so that's where we need organizations like Tanner's and the Grunstyle Foundation and all the other awesome groups supporting our veterans across the country, stepping up to the plate and doing that work, because somebody's got to do it. And if not us, then who, right?
Exactly.
So my background, I was a Cav Scout in the Army. So was in from 92 all the way up through the very end of 08. And I did 12 of my 15 months in Iraq at the Al Tawatha Nuclear Complex, which was Combat Outpost Cache.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Saddam's nuclear facility. So came out of there chock full of heavy metals and all sorts of chemicals and all the bad things. Went around burn pits too much. I was around them at Fob Rostamayev. Fob Hammer had a fairly smaller one. So the burn pits wasn't really my exposure issue. Mine was just the heavy metals that were there at that nuclear facility that we lived in for a year. And so when I came out, everybody that I was working with from the military side was getting sick and weird different forms of aggressive cancers and unique neurological conditions. And then I started catching that stuff as well. The VA was of no help to me. Did the whole VA experience with the head meds and the talk therapy and all the things. But I kept saying, oh, that's fine. And yeah, I do need, some support in this area as well. But, I was more worried about these toxins that were inside of me. So that's kind of how I got into the nonprofit world, went back to school, pursued a degree in nonprofit management and all of that, just so I could get involved in this issue. Came to Grunstyle towards when the PACT Act was really getting hot and heavy. We brought in John Stewart and all that.
Yep.
We grouped in Grunstyle. We managed to do in 3 months more than what we had done in the previous 13 years of advocacy on that issue. And it was really just about raising awareness in the veteran community and getting people oriented on, hey, these are problems, and you probably want to start paying attention to this topic now and not whenever you spring stage 4 cancer of whatever type of variety. Exactly. So that advocacy and awareness is paramount. We have continued that on. Once we got the PACT Act done, we shifted focus over towards what I consider to be the single biggest issue facing the veteran community, and that is of suicide. And we know that 68% of all the veterans in the VHA system are prescribed psychotropic medications, and the major side effect of that classification of drugs is increase in suicidal ideation. So, if you think about that just for a minute, that's pretty crazy. We're taking people that are struggling or challenged or sometimes in compromised positions, trying to navigate what amounts to be a hostile environment many times with accessing healthcare through the VA system. And here we're getting pills that increase your level of suicidal ideation. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And as we're seeing 22 a day are taking their lives, and the latest 2024 VA suicide report, their biggest claim of success there is that the rate of increase slowed down a little bit. So we've lost 162,000 veterans since 9/11 of 2001. And we only lost 57,000 in the entire Vietnam conflict, around 7,000 to 8,000 in both Iraq and Afghanistan. So, this is truly a massive, massive problem. And so that's where we put all of our effort at our foundation towards that singular issue. And as Janae had mentioned, everyone inside of our foundation is a veteran and has dealt with all these issues that we're talking about. So it's very personal to all of us.
Right. What's considered, and maybe Tanner, maybe Janae, what is now considered, because it was always the buzzword of 22 a day. What is the actual number? What is the actual, I don't know, how many veterans are taking their lives a day? What is it now?
So Secretary Doug Collins even said that they don't have an accurate number, right? It's anywhere from 17 to 22 a day is what's being recorded. However, that could be actually double. And we believe it may be double because when you take into account those which are not reported to the VA and those which are not deemed suicide, for example, and Will's used this example many times, somebody who, runs their car into a wall at 100 miles per hour, that would be considered an accident instead of a suicide. So there are, and some of these overdoses, right? Those aren't considered. So it's anywhere from 17 to 44 a day. We don't have an accurate count on what that number actually is.
Now, I'll go ahead. Will, are you hearing the same thing too?
Yes, sir. It's a matter of, as Janae had said, not all these deaths are reported, and not every state keeps track of these in the same way that states that do. So, the 2024 VA suicide report has the number at 17. Of course, this document was prepared and pushed out by a PR marketing firm. So, of course, it's written from that, best foot forward. How do we look the best we can here?
Yeah, exactly.
And, they got to that number of 17 by removing some of the reserve components from their totals. That's how that number dropped. So, despite best efforts, there's always a little bit of showmanship that goes in to these reports, even to Congress.
Of course. Well, not to mention the fact that most, I would say, a large brunt of the GWAT was faced by the reserves. I will say, everyone talks about these guys. Oh, well, I only did 9 months here, 9 months there. And then you see the reserve guys that go through a MOB process that lasts almost 15 months, not counting their boots on the ground in the country. In the soft world, Tanner, you'll know this. We consider, I'm a former PSYOP guy, so we consider a deployment only being 9 months. I've been deployed. That's why I always see the guys. I've been deployed this many times. I've been deployed this many times, and I'm like, was it the like the year deployment? Was it like the soft deployment with only 9 months there? Because those reservists, man, those guys get mobbed 2 months out before they get boots on the ground. They're a year in country, and this is during the GWAT and all that, Afghanistan and Iraq. A year in country, and then they got a demob. So during all that time, that's another 2 months on the back end. And I'm just like, God, man, I'm just flabbergasted that the reserve component would not even be considered, even though we share. What we're starting to do is, can we talk about the Green Star shit yet, Janae? I mean, is that the initiative we can talk about yet? Can we talk about the Green Star stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, in conjunction with the Grunstyle Foundation, U.S. Army W.T.F, the W.T.F Nation, I guess you'd say, the Empire, we are assisting in the legislation to consider Green Star benefits for family members who have had their veteran commit suicide. So, and that it's almost like there's the Blue Star, the Gold Star. Well, the green, and I guess we should have waited to get proper. Is Tim gonna get mad because we're talking about this already yet? Tim, don't get mad at us, please. But
you have a chance to be here.
Yeah, we'll come back when the legislation happens. But basically, it's what we post on U.S. Army W.T.F moments. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we used to post veterans that are unclaimed. Well, now we've opened up the posting criteria to veterans who are Green Star veterans, veterans who we know that have not had anybody, returning of POWs or returning of remains from World War II. So we've kind of opened it up, but we are starting to mark now Green Star, like when we ask, not to be disrespectful or whatever, it's like, hey, so sorry for your loss, but how did he pass or how did she pass? And then they always say 22 a day. So we mark that as a Green Star post. So that way, that right there, I'm just, how do I say this? Go ahead.
I think what we tend to overlook is that this is a casualty of war.
Yeah.
That the suicide pandemic in our community is a casualty of war, and that it's something that it does affect families, and it does affect, it goes on, it's a generational impact that it's going to have, right?
Right, right.
When a parent takes their life because they weren't unable to either acclimate or to be able to overcome what they experienced, it doesn't just affect their current family, but it's going to affect generations
Right.
to come. And so being able to recognize that this is a casualty, of war is important. And this is why we do the work that we do to try and prevent that, and to try to really, and one of the things like Tanner was talking about is, the transition, the transition of the service member. We're not properly transitioning them, right? And you join the military because you want to serve, and then you get out of the military and you're just like, okay, now what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to really help them to find purpose and that transition assistance to make sure that they're able to move from, being in the military and then getting the VA services that they need as they transition out, getting that properly done. And then also being able to help them find purpose. So they're not just sitting at home isolated and disassociated.
Right. Tanner, I know one of the things you were talking about is, and I've rarely heard about it. You guys do fertility and family planning as well?
Yeah. So that is one of the services that we're offering. We're partnered with a fertility storage company right now. So kind of all across the spectrum of trying to find young soldiers that are possibly married or in a serious relationship that want to preserve either their sperm or ovulites for later, just in case. God forbid something tragic happens. I mean, we see it all the time, even when we're not at war. Looking at DC last week, 2 soldiers are ambushed in a tragic event, and really trying to protect people's ability to have that family in the future if their spouse so chooses. We're also working with a lot of people that have spent their time in the military through GWAT and are now trying to have children
right
towards the end of their career, and things are a lot harder due to, blasts and TBI, high stress, high op tempo, adrenaline dumps, they're, for men, their sperm just isn't working right. And if a lot of females, I think it's something like, I actually have the numbers in here somewhere. 40% of veterans or active duty women report trouble conceiving.
Yeah.
So,
I was about to say a lot of it. That's also I don't want to say a suicide stressor, but something that can contribute, because I really think that family planning, and serving myself and being around with individuals or serving with individuals that have had problems conceiving, that is you don't realize how much of a stress it is. Well, a Marine community, we probably know, but a lot of individuals don't really take that in consideration. You're also now now let's continue about it, because you're also doing hormone optimization therapy, bro. That's badass.
Yeah. So, everything kind of goes together, right? If your hormones are off, you're not going to be producing viable sperm for reproduction.
Right.
Women are going to have trouble with their cycles and ovulation and being able to actually reproduce. So we're trying to hit the whole all-encompassing. Kind of goes into genetic testing too, like find out, okay, due to your exposures, what's happened to your genes, Is there a reason why your body's not absorbing the right vitamins? Are you predispositioned to certain types of cancer? All of these things go together to really target that fertility and allowing people to have their family. And if we can get in early enough and start helping from the beginning, then we'll have better outcomes in the future.
No, not to mention the fact what Will and Janae are talking about is trying to find the link, try to find what is it about veterans that would want to end their own lives, because all these could be stressors. All these stressors could be added to it. And if it could be, like everyone here will agree that we want to over farm ourselves. And a couple of weeks back, I was talking about how I was having issues sleeping, and they wanted to give me an antidepressant. I'm like, I'm not depressed. I just can't sleep. Well, it's an actual antidepressant, but the side effects is it'll help you sleep. I'm like, I don't want no freaking side effect. I want to go to
Like,
sleep.
don't you know who I am?
Yeah.
I know better than to accept this.
Yeah, I was like, they were like, well, I'm like, no, I'm not accepting shit. I'm not doing that. I don't want a side effect to help me sleep. I want to get to sleep. I don't, and we talk about the hemp stuff. We talk about CBD. We talk about the alternative medicines. Are you guys planning on doing some alternative medicine stuff, Tanner?
In the future. So initially when we started planning this all out, I had like 9 different pillars that I wanted to offer.
Right.
And my friends and colleagues kind of reeled me in a bit and was like, hey, let's start smaller and we'll work up to that eventually. But yeah, I think there's lots of really promising research into things like ibogaine and stuff like that. That I would like to get into eventually, looking at doing job programs for veterans in the future, stem cell therapy, stuff like that.
Right. Because that's some of the issues the late Boone Cutler was talking about doing was the stem cell therapy, and I know there's a lot of. It's kind of funny when it comes to specific types of treatment. It's only unethical unless you have it. Then all of a sudden, individuals who are in power want to have it. Like, I guarantee it, if there's somebody could find a cure for Alzheimer's or ALS or assisting veterans with stem cell, I bet you if it's a member of Congress, they'd be more than happy to open research and open studies and all that. Because every time we ask, and this is a conversation that me and Janae always, go back and forth with, is that not go back and forth, but we always talk about is like, why are there like no correct stock? Give me a baseline. Where are the stats of this? And then they give you a graph, and we're like, okay, yeah, fine, but who are the dudes that were involved? Who are the individuals that we're talking about? And to go back on what Will was saying is like, good PR is the PR that you pay for. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's
Will can speak really well to the alternative healing modalities. We are part of, just kind of throw this plug out there because they're really important, is the Veteran Mental Health Leadership Coalition. So we're all part of that. So Tanner, it's a great organization to work with. Will can really speak well to some of those alternative healing modalities. That's another kind of program that we offer is our integration retreats. Which we intend on offering more of those next year. But that's where we are able to, one, introduce people to alternative healing modalities. But Will's definitely, we've got an expert on the call for sure when it comes to that.
Yeah, we believe that there are many paths up the mountain. And, the big lesson that I've learned in my journey since, setting off on this course around, the beginning of 2009,
right,
going into the VA, coming in for like, hey, I'm sick, I'm full of heavy metals. Can we get my healthcare team together? And they're like, well, yeah, but you've also got PTSD here. Let's talk about, antidepressants and all that. Okay, makes sense. My healthcare authority figure is, guiding me onto something. It had my trust, as a doctor should, and went down that road, only to find out that turns out, these SSRIs, antidepressants, all these things are about as effective as a placebo when it comes down to it. And you got about a 13% of the population that is, really going to have a humdinger of a side effect.
Right.
That number continues to grow bigger. Around 50% of people taking these things experience either permanent or temporary sexual dysfunction. So these things just continue to compile and compile and compile. So our baseline work is to reject the status quo,
of course,
of what we have. But then we're left with, okay, what next? Well, I firmly believe that only you can heal you. I don't know what's going to resonate with you. I do not know what is going to speak to your heart, that's going to speak to your mind, to your spirit, your body. But we want to explore as many opportunities and different paths up that mountain that we can identify and highlight it. That's what we do with our podcast called The Triangular Compass.
Yes.
Where we shine these things up. We do everything from singing bowls to horse equine therapy to ayahuasca. We've taken groups of veterans down to the Amazon to set with ayahuasca. We work with the indigenous on Pine Ridge with the Lakota, the Oglala Sioux folks out there. Great friends of ours. We bring them to our events. We host Sweat Lodge, the Inipi ceremony. So we are literally throwing everything at this, including the kitchen sink. to try to get veterans inspired to find what speaks to them. And then once they have found that modality that resonates, to go all in on that and follow that path wherever it may lead. And if you come across 5 other paths along the way that also speaks to you, explore those guys as well.
Right.
Because it's a lot better than waiting for someone to show up who is not coming to save you.
Right. You know, I was about to say, Tanner, is it, how do I say this? Those alternate stuff, is it difficult to do it because you're in Florida, or is it, I mean, you don't mind, like, I guess you would say outsourcing it or something like that? I mean, if the Girl Scout Foundation offered to help, would you take that, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we're looking at providing services nationwide. So just because we started here in Florida, we're not wanting to get pigeonholed into just a single state. We want to reach out as far and wide as we possibly can.
Right.
I've talked to tons of nonprofits, and we've been making great connections and integrations, and people are more than willing to help. And it's really been great up to this point with the sharing that has gone on. But yep, we're not looking to anything that gets stopped in Florida because of any state laws. I would just look to move it somewhere else and have someone else facilitate it, and create another partnership that way.
Yeah, I don't want to say they're the fun police, but sometimes Florida could be the fun police. I mean, well, Texas has become one too, but still, it's like, I mean,
Florida did shut down the hemp ban attempt, so we appreciate that.
Yeah. It just seems like it's just. It's like, why are you guys slow rolling it? You know, it's
we
like
fought like hell.
Yeah,
we fought like hell. We got SB3 vetoed. SB5 came through. They tried to get us, and we were able to get that shut down. Now it's at the federal level. I mean, but Florida's been, you know, they're helping out. They've got some good movements going there. You know, when it comes to the alternative healing modalities too, a lot of times, you know, there's funding available for like those who have been in special forces, or for those who have experienced like extreme combat, you know, and we appreciate that. There's been a movement to really help get some of these veterans who deserve it healed. Right. But it can be expensive, especially if you're having to take it down to South America. That's expensive to get them down there and get them with this treatment. And so one of the things I appreciate is, like, with the foundation, my injuries are moral injuries, right? It's you know, MST related. And so being able to have an organization that recognizes that I also need those alternative healing modalities, and I also deserve to get the healing. And that's why I resigned from my federal job and I started doing this full time, because I was like, if the Gun Saw Foundation came to me and they recognized that I needed the help, and they were able to pour into me and ensure I got that help, and I want to make sure that I'm able to do that for others. So unfortunately, though, there's just a lot of veterans, and I'm sure a lot of your viewers, who are like, I'm curious about ibogaine, I'm curious about ayahuasca or psilocybin, but I can't get access to it because the funding that's available out there right now in a lot of these organizations is only specific to a certain demographic.
You know, has and maybe, well, all of us can ask too, is Congress looking into, like, if there's, like, from the VA, Congress is appropriating this. Has the VA come out with something like that?
Will could probably answer that one a little better.
So there's definitely a lot of scuttlebutt, right, on this issue. It's not like people are unaware of it. You've got several high-profile members of Congress that are championing this. They're also in the Senate as well as the House. So, I mean, this stuff is pretty well understood, more than what we give credit for. It's more of a matter of how the sausage is made. And really what we're dealing with here is you also have an entire industry by way of big pharma that has an awful lot of powerful lobbyists that are, you know, gumming up the works. And they can make a very compelling case on the science of why,
of course,
you know, something can or cannot be attempted. But here is the breakdown. For anyone listening, I will happily explain this to you, what is actually going on here. So these types of modalities, including marijuana, by the way, are all these Schedule 1 narcotics, saying that they have no known medicinal value. So, okay, well, why can't we use that as an alternative? Well, there's not clinical research on this. Well, why isn't there clinical research? Well, it's because it's a Schedule 1 drug, and it's incredibly expensive, cost prohibitive, resource inhibitive to study this stuff. You know, and how are you going to recoup your return on your investment? Right? How are you going to get that back? If you're talking about a plant, this isn't something that you can just patent and then make your money on the backside. And the bureaucratic hoops, let alone the financial expenses going into doing this kind of research on Schedule 1, is insane.
Right.
If you've got a staff of 50 at your university and you want to study whatever Schedule 1 modality that may be, just the paperwork alone
Right.
would drive you crazy. And you have to do that not just one time for your whole group. You're going to have to do that same process 50 times.
Yeah, and that's the thing with me is that is again paying for PR. I mean, when I hear independent studies, and I just think that the old reefer madness, don't talk to them because they're weed snorters, type of mentality. I just get blown away. It's like, look, veterans are actually coming out and saying that CBD, THC, hell, and they're not. I mean, I think because the stigma of someone who consumes those types of products, the stigma. Hey man, like Cheech and Chong. Hey man, oh come on, fight the power, man. I've known professionals that you don't think are professionals that take. Hey, I take a THC CBD gummy to go to bed. And it helps me sleep, helps with the inflammation of my knees, because I was on jump status for so damn long, and it helps with my back. And I'm just thinking, there is something. There's something there. I mean,
yes, our endocannabinoid system. We are designed to work hand in hand with these plants,
right?
That God has given us. Just unfortunately, God did not think about the patenting problem and how he's going to be able to.
Maybe the Almighty should have had. Maybe Cheech and Chong go with a different route.
Well, maybe so. But where this thing plays out, and when you look at like psilocybin, that's probably the best example. There is a lot of research going around the country on psilocybin, but it's not just on the mushroom. Instead, what they'll do is they have to study a synthetic, and that's just a way to say they're injecting a single molecule of carbon into this mushroom to where it's now synthetic. Well, why do they do that? Well, it's because they can patent that. That's why. And the little game becomes a shell game. So now we're going to allocate this money to do this research on this synthetic mushroom. And once we're done with that research and we start to move it forward into the next phase, well, we can only utilize that same synthetic mushroom as opposed to the original mushroom. Why? Well, it's not been tested. There's no clinical research. And there's that word again, clinical research. Because if we were to just use a natural mushroom as opposed to the mushroom with the one molecule of carbon in it, dogs may start sleeping with cats, rain may fall from the earth to the heavens, everything could go completely crazy.
People will get some sleep.
Yes. And then on the backside, when it's finally time to roll out, well, great, but it can only be this one synthetic.
Right.
And this is the same game we're seeing. We talked about the hemp industry stuff here a little bit ago. Who's behind that? Well, surprise, big alcohol.
Yeah.
The revenue has dropped 40% since cannabis has been legalized different areas around the country. This stuff is insidious. And so one of the large things that we pride ourselves in doing is calling out that the emperor has no clothes. We're going to break it down for you in layman terms, what is going on and why it's going on. And we will be those folks that go onto the Hill and sing that loud and long to anyone that will listen. And we will bring an awful lot of pressure just from the fact of, the voice of veterans and people listening and not tap dancing around this for whatever interest that may be there. That's what's needed.
Yeah, maybe invite a Congress person or two and give them a brownie.
I have invited many Congress folks to come to ayahuasca and other modalities.
I was about to say, yeah. And then I see, that's the thing. They're the ones that, I mean, I didn't want to get into this role of conversation, but I always have my tinfoil hat ready to go because I am a SIB guy.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. It's the same thing it is the same thing with the vax stuff. How we talked about how the vax stuff, different types of vax only did different types of things or had different types of side effects. One was really successful that all of a sudden you heard had problems and now taken off the market, while the others were being active and pushed. And I think it's the same thing with Big Farm. Fuck Big Farm. I can't wait to get the t-shirt. It's one of those things to where
tomorrow.
Yeah, I forgot to give you the deets. But yeah, they have. I worked Big Farm. I mean, I've talked to Janae about my Big Farm experiences, and it literally is almost like going to a trade show or an auto show when it comes to different and the insurance companies eat that shit up. And you're like, oh, I'm going to get a discount for this, or I'm going to get a discount for that, and all that. It's just like with the TRICARE shit. and the way TRICARE works and the way TRICARE only wants you to do that. And then the VA now just opened up. They just opened up community care now again. So I'm thinking, who's stopping this? And why isn't nobody stomping on somebody's, I can't be violent in this when it comes to of obviously elected officials, but why isn't nobody stomping their feet in front of somebody's desk to say, what's fucking going on? Where's your fucking connection to this? Where's your cut?
Well, if you can wait until the 3rd, we only got 2 more days to go. We are providing testimony to Congress on this exact hearing that we're talking about right now. Derek Blumke, who Janae was mentioning earlier, he's our veteran impact fellow that's spearheading our War Cry for Change initiative, which is everything that we're talking about right now. He's produced a wonderful paper on that. It's the testimony. We're going to be flooding the airwaves with that. Anybody that'll talk to us about it, we want it to have that larger conversation and really get people to understand how is this game being played, because there are interests in the game that have tremendous amounts of influence within the SVAC, the HVAC. These are the committees that are providing the oversight to the VA, and they are well educated and trained on how to stop bad legislation, depending on who you are. I guess that's what qualifies what bad is.
Right.
It's weird that it usually has some kind of interest in dollar signs and what's going to make that bad.
With an attachment to a bill too on something like
yeah.
I didn't order a new building for what is this for? You know what I mean? Like that had nothing to do
Yeah.
with it,
Well, it's like this his hitman, right? They snuck this thing in on the continuing resolution at the 11th hour
Yep.
out of nowhere. And we couldn't get that undone. What did that have to do with opening up the government or funding or budgets or it had nothing to do. The truth is they tried this in all these different states. When that didn't work, I mean, hell, this went down to the county level. I live in St. Louis, Missouri. I had to go fight Councilwoman Clancy here in the St. Louis County Council that was trying to run the exact same play. And it was essentially, if you want to sell CBD or hemp-based products, it could only be done through a dispensary, which now you're going to mark up your price again, 25, 30% on a sin tax on something that you're already buying normally now. The decent providers are already doing the studies and safety protocols to ensure a top grade product as if it was regulated by the FDA, which it is not, and that is intentional, which goes back again to but there's no clinical science.
Exactly.
You've got to do that. It's all
I know, man. The FDA and the DEA, when I was working Big Farm, I was like, why are you guys, why is the DEA here? I mean, the DEA was there to ensure that we had specific checks to it to make sure that our product was secured. But then, other than that, why do you care that the VA, that the FDA, and a lot of it was given to, a lot of the products were given to the DoD for medicine, for surgeries, or possible war or whatever, routine stuff in the military. Tanner, have you run into any bumps on the road like that? I mean, have you ever hit any, oh shit, I guess I'm not going to talk to that person, or this, I need to stay away from this person. This guy's kind of, I mean, if you're comfortable talking about it, I mean, you just say no comment.
No issues at all. No bumps in the road thus far. Yeah, things have been pretty smooth moving. HOT and HRT are always kind of a big thing with the VA. The scale for what's right for male hormones is an incredibly large scale that ranges from age 18 to age 80. And it's anywhere from 264 up to 1,000 on your testosterone points. I got out of the military after my 12 years and sat at 235. And the VA told me I was perfectly fine. I was having trouble sleeping, had pretty severe insomnia, getting migraines constantly, want to fall asleep at 3:00 in the afternoon every day.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm not sleeping at night.
Yeah.
Same experience. They tried to put me on antidepressants.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do anything for my testosterone. So after 2 years of journeying and trying to figure out natural ways to give it a boost and get my hormones corrected, I had a whole increase of 30 points. So looking at the low 260s, which is about equal to an 80-year-old man's testosterone levels. And that's what eventually I just 4 months ago ended up getting on HRT myself. Sleep's improved. I can sleep 7 hours without waking up now. My migraines are less. I can make it throughout the day. But I haven't run into any issues other than with my healthcare providers, which I'd see as little as possible, because I feel like seeking it out myself has been giving me way better results, honestly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just curious, because every time there's you hear about a new group, yeah, I can always imagine there's somebody in some boardroom going, great, there's another group coming up. Who's this guy? Who's this Tanner guy? Is this guy gonna cause problems for us? We already got W.T.F moments in the Grunt Style Foundation bugging us.
Tanner's on the list.
Yeah,
Welcome.
yeah, exactly. Welcome to the club, homie.
I intend on causing problems when I am financially able.
They do know us. Like, with the
Yeah.
VA secretary, we met Doug Collins at the VFW conference, and it was so funny because they were like, what are you going to say to him before you go in there? They were so nervous. But it was funny. Like, I went up to meet him, and you can see in the picture that I'm in with him. I shake his hand, and immediately I say, thank you for addressing the $3 billion that is being spent towards veteran suicide, and the numbers aren't going down. And as soon as I said that, he went from like a pleasant demeanor to like arms crossed, like defensive, like, oh, I know this narrative, I know where this is coming from. And he's like, so they hear us, and Grunt Style Foundation actually put out a press release right when he was nominated, and now you hear a lot of the interviews that he's doing. He's actually speaking to that press release. He doesn't give us credit for it, but he's addressing it. Right. So Tanner, welcome to the list. You're gonna start getting those crossed arms as you walk into rooms.
Yeah, I'm all about being a squeaky wheel to enact changes. As much as I love doing what I can to give back to those similar experiences to me, I mean, in the end, the burden shouldn't fall on us. The burden is on the government to take care of the people that serve the nation.
It's part of the contract, man. That's part of the whole benefits package that you promised. I mean, Janae says, it's one of those things to where we don't have a, you entice us to come in. You gave us recruiting bonuses. You promise us the world. Oh, we'll get you promoted quick. We'll pay off your student debt. Yeah. And then as soon as you get in, you're about ready to get out. Yeah, shut up, get out of here. Nah, we have an NTC, CTC rotation to get out. Yeah, but you guys said I was going to get these transition benefits. Yeah, shut up, whatever. You only get 2 weeks. Sorry. Oh, my bad. You're only going to get a week now because we're going to rotate into Poland to do an exercise to deter Ivan. And I'm like, yeah, it's frustrating, man.
And Doug Collins, Secretary Collins, when we were at the VFW conference, he was like, this issue with veteran suicide and the issues that veterans have, it shouldn't all just fall on the VA. We need to rely on these community partners that we have out there. Okay, so then we put in requests for funding and we're getting denied, you know, and like No Fallen Heroes is one. They put out a press release that they had put in for funding to send people down to get alternative healing, and they got denied. So, where's that funding going? And are they actually going to pour into these community partners so that we can help with this issue? Yeah. I'm not really seeing a lot of organizations like Grunt Style Foundation, the No Fallen Heroes, some of these organizations that are putting in, they're not getting the funding. So are they actually wanting us to help? Are they going to support us so that we can help or not? So hopefully, Tanner, you have a little bit more luck because yours is geared a little bit more towards that reproductive and the hormone, which wildly important. When you talk about like not being able to conceive as a woman, that's something that can make us feel like, I was put on this earth so that I can, procreate, and I can't do that now because of the things I did in the military. That can really affect somebody's mental health. So I can understand, and the work you're doing is, that's necessary, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think the burden's been put on the women for so long that it's always just their fault, when couples are trying and unable to conceive. And I think a lot has come out recently showing that a lot of the times it can be the man, especially if you served in the military or you've been a police officer, a firefighter, or a paramedic, something like that. Like just men are, with our diet and with all the stress and the hormone imbalances, are just as guilty as a women. Maybe guilty is not the best word.
I'm about to say, don't say guilty.
Just as responsible for the issue.
Your fault too.
I like guilty for the men.
I'll take it.
No, I'm that's interesting. What are the stats on women on the I guess on the 22 a day? We'll just use that for the what is the women status for the women?
Oh man.
I mean, because we always talk about vets. Have we broken down to men and women yet? I mean, have we seen?
We have, and unfortunately, I'm not especially suited to rattle off those numbers as some other areas where I'm a little more familiar. But if you'd ever like to have Derek Blumke come onto the show and break all this down into detail, and if you can't wait till then, we do have a whole video on our YouTube channel where we broke down the 2024 suicide report, and we go into great detail on those numbers of the female veterans versus male veterans. I can tell you from memory, I can't cite you chapter and verse because I just don't have that part committed to memory as well as some other areas, but it is significantly higher, both in comparison to their civilian counterparts and as just virtue of being women as a veteran and compared to, their male counterparts. It is hitting them quite a bit differently, but that information is on our YouTube channel, and I highly encourage everybody to go watch. That's fascinating content just because of how much is exposed. And the work Tanner's doing, buddy, God bless you for what you're doing, man. This hormonal imbalance stuff is a huge element in my story. It's a huge element in a lot of the work that we do. I am a firm believer that for our protocols that we recommend, we always start with heavy metal testing and non-heavy metal non-industrial chemical testing. And you can, good luck getting the VA to do that. But if you have the ability to get a physician to write you a prescription, you can get that test done through independent private labs, like Mosaic Labs is a group that we refer people to. And we start with that so we can tell you, you'll have these multiple mini panel tests come back in both of those two areas of the heavy metals and the chemicals, and it will tell you what is in you and what amount it is in you, and also it'll give you a protocol of how to start getting them out. So with infrared saunas, binders and chelators, liposomal glutathione, the supplementation with different minerals and vitamins, start working to get these things out of you, right? Because we eliminate these toxins from our body in one of three ways. We pee it out, we poop it out, and we sweat it out. So that infrared sauna with a little niacin and some liposomal glutathione will go a hell of a long way. Then partner that up with hyperbaric oxygen therapy. This regrows soft tissue. Well, your brain is soft tissue and fat. I was in cognitive decline in serious levels back around 2019. And it was hyperbaric oxygen and this detoxification that restored my health. I was still very much plagued with heavy metals that I couldn't get rid of, specifically uranium. I'm super full of uranium and I'm struggling to get that one out. But by trying to keep my body in a state of homeostasis with peptides and peptide therapy has been tremendously beneficial for me. I am still going through that process because, again, I'm having a hard time removing them. But once we have those peptide therapy in place and our body's at homeostasis, now we can start focusing on these other areas of wellness, the mental health, the spiritual health, these things that provide this full spectrum holistic healing.
You take that, you write that down, Tanner? You write.
Oh, I don't even need to. That's about how I live my life already. So
exactly.
I've just been digging through this. I mean, my wife is great. She's the hippie one of the group. So, clean diet, eating natural food and working out every day, even through the injuries sustained while being in the military. That's something that I haven't let fall by the wayside since getting out,
Well, you also have this recording too, so you could always go back and say, "Hey, what do you say about what will say about that stuff? What was that? What was that guy talking about peptides?" And then you could rewind that.
Yeah,
It's a lot. It's a big conversation, but this is not just something unique just to our veteran and military community, man. This is if you're a firefighter, if you're a cop, if you're just an everyday American. One of the most shocking things that I encountered was when I was going through my initial treatment and first learning about this thing. My neuropharmacologist guy said, you're going to have X% of flame retardant in your body. And I thought, that makes no sense. How would you know that? Got my test results. Sure enough, he was almost spot on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, it's because every mattress sold in the United States is treated with flame retardant by law. So you are spending 8 hours a night sleeping on top of a mattress that's been treated with flame retardant. You're absorbing that into your body. Same is true with like infant clothes. Same thing. By law, these things have to be treated. We're infusing children, little small children, with these.
Which I'm sure is amazing for your reproductive system from the get-go.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that. I didn't know about the flame retardant stuff. Oh man, that's
you sleep on it every night. Try to find a mattress in the United States that does not have that treatment.
Right.
You can import them in, but you got to play the weird word game and get a meditation mat or something like that. And it's always a game.
Well, now I'm gonna put like 5 extra sheets on my mattress now, and because I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, somebody says let's talk Chinese drywall. Ooh, that's a good one too. That's a good question. Tanner, have you anything about mold? Anything about the mold? Have you guys? Well, not just Tanner, but you guys know anything coming out of the mold connection of our soldiers living in the barracks or us that have lived in housing? Is any connections? Anybody has addressed the mold stuff, the health issues that is about it?
Did you want?
I don't have any research on the mold stuff other than personal experience. So I'll let you guys go ahead and take that.
It's environmental. I think the area has been pretty well researched, but much like all the other research in these areas. They're very cherry picked. They're very presented to provide the narrative that we're to be given. How do you beat mold exposure? Again, detoxification, hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Those are your 2 best routes to do that. Don't underestimate the healing power of hyperbaric. So many of these problems, especially with like mold, can affect you the same way as like chemical toxicity from the burn pits.
Right.
These lesions on your brain are every bit as much of a brain injury as if you were involved in a massive IED on Route Vikings or Route Irish or one of the other horrible roads over in Iraq. Mm-hmm. These are brain wounds, and we can restore them. We were talking earlier about ibogaine. Ibogaine regrows the white matter in the brain. This stuff is not just treating symptoms of neurological conditions like Parkinson's. It's literally regrowing the white matter. It's healing the brain. It's healing the issue. That's where we need to have more focus on it. These TBIs, every time you squeeze the trigger of a rifle, you're getting a micro concussion right there in the center of your forehead. And that builds up over time. If you're breathing in this exhaust, I was a Bradley gunner when I was in Korea. We ripped the exhaust bags out of the turret for speed, to help increase the time of reaction from the time the horn blows to the time we're rolling out the gate of Gary Owen, going to the DMZ there. Thousands of rounds. Each one of those is producing a gas cloud with heavy metals to the extreme. You're breathing it. These cause these same types of brain injuries. This stuff is not a game, but you can pretty much make that connection in all these things we're talking about back to these environmental injuries and illnesses, and that approach at healing them again is identifying what's in you, getting it out, then restoration, and bringing the body back into homeostasis. And that's a pretty well cookie cutter way to do that. You can come at it a million different ways. There's many paths up the mountain, but that's essentially the outline.
You were talking about the little micro concussions. I was just thinking that every time we change our rifles, like when we say, hey, we have this new machine gun that we're testing out. Well, that's a different type of caliber that we're using that's going to cause a different type of micro concussion. The same thing with, we have a new battle rifle. Oh, and soldiers are now going to be carrying the new HK or SIG or whatever. I'm just hopeful, wishful thinking here, but I really think we messed up with the XM8, but that's another story. But I just think like different calibers that we fire. Okay. a 50 cal gunner, somebody who's always on the 50 cal, like you were saying, or somebody on the Bradley is going to have a different effect than somebody who's a pat clerk that only goes to the range once every 6 months, or somebody in soft who's a breacher, door kicker, who's using different types of calibers in employment of their mission. But here, yeah, exactly that. Somebody just said in the comics. But here are some awesome earplugs. Exactly. Fafo, you said you had so many questions. Drop the questions in there. We can ask. That's why they only allow you to shoot the Barrett 50 or the AT4 so many times. The concussion can fuck with you. Yeah, or the Carl Gustav. I know there was there. I know just firing one time for me was enough. And even with earplugs, I'm like, you guys can fucking fire this shit, man. But the Rangers, do it, fire, let's go. Outside parts again. Yeah, again, if you the new joke is if you've what is that? If you were issued 3M earplugs, yeah, exactly. So again, I just don't know. I mean, I do know. I hope that government officials or anybody in legislative power will at least through your busy politicking time of who you're mad at these days, could just listen to the veterans, because I don't know what's next. I don't know. I mean, we could have like the story that me and Janae, we had that one veteran who ended his life at a VA hospital. All the frustrations that veterans go through and the frustrations that veterans have to face in processes when they get no answer, and that's the frustration point I think also contributes is they don't get an answer. At least give me something to go on so I can go do my own research, so I can say, hey, the doc said something about this. Now you got to do this paperwork. Now you got to do this. Yeah, but you didn't tell me it was wrong. Yeah, that's why you log into My Healthy Vet. Yeah, but when you log into My Healthy Vet, it's not saying anything. It just says you're going to prescribe me this. Well, and then the frustration folds with different types of, I would say, patience level. I mean, because I know I'm impatient on a lot of shit, but there's just some veterans that they're just impatient. That just can't. I mean, we have to tell our veterans that you're not going to get it now. There is shit that we have to do to get it as fast as we can, but a lot of it's never going to happen now. And I think that also is the negative factor of the veteran community. Is we want
and I don't know that it ever is, Ken. I mean, I came out of there in 2008 from Altoetha. I mean, I literally lived in a nuclear compound, and it is now 2025. I have yet to successfully convince my VA healthcare team to give me a heavy metals test. I've had to utilize resources from other veterans that are doing this work in the nonprofit world to educate me and kind of guide me along. That is why it's important to support organizations like Tanner's, like the Grunstau Foundation. We are out there doing the work that the government will not or cannot. And some of these things are insidious. It's the way the game is designed. We have to play a different game. We've got to step outside of the rules of what convention says things work. Because you're never going to get our elected government is never going to just be like, oh, thanks for explaining that to me. I didn't know that we were doing all these horrible things for so long. We'll get right on that and fix it. It doesn't work that way.
It worked back in the day, but not now. Not after 20 years of GWAT. Not now after 20 years of GWAT, when I said it's a negative look on us when we want it now, I got it. Yeah. But I'm not saying that, dude, it's not like they didn't have the research. 20 fucking years of war. That should have been a fucking hint that this should have been fixed already. This already, the invasion happened. Okay. We had some casualties. We had some wounded in action. All right. The surge happened. Oh shit. We have Iraq and Afghanistan kicking off at the same time. All right, guys, something should be clicking in your head. Maybe we should start working on blast therapy, or maybe we should work on PTSD, or maybe we should work on our casualty assistance operations. Maybe we should work on our VA back-end mental health stuff. So,
I mean, it goes back further than that, too. I mean, shell shock in World War II. I mean, we have Vietnam and the Korean War also to feed off of. Agent Orange and all that came along with it. My great uncle was in Korea and still suffering from the Agent Orange that they used over there. So,
this stuff is going to have to be drug into the spotlight. The best disinfectant is sunlight, and it's the truth. That's what we have to do. Is we have to force these conversations. We have to force them in a way that they can't run from them. because this stuff has been going on for a lot of years, is what like Tanner was just pointing out. And again, it's the nature of the game. If the VA is under so much pressure, if you remember back to the Phoenix scandal of the mid 2010s,
we
right?
we highlighted that. Yeah, we highlighted that shit. Yep.
Right. And then what followed that? The Clay Hunt Act. And what did the Clay Hunt Act do? Supercharge funding into mental health services in the VA, which supercharged these psychotropic classification of medications where everybody's getting this. And you can look at the research on the charts. It's a perfect correlation. It just goes straight up in unison on that. And in so much of this stuff, unless you really have quality healthcare and someone spending time with you to learn your background and your circumstances to get an idea of where to go, it's not like that. You get 5 minutes. I've never had an actual doctor my old time in the VA. I'm sure the VA people I've worked with have been good people with the best of intentions. But the truth of the matter is they're under an awful lot of pressure to get you a diagnosis and a treatment. So going back to like those micro concussions, or say you're in an IED and maybe it was behind you, you blew forward and your brain bounced off the right front side of your skull. Well, that area of your brain controls emotional regulation, right? So now you're starting to display symptoms that are emotional instability. Well, these are all signs of PTSD. So now, are you going to get imaging, a brain scan under your brain? No, you're going to get a prescription for something that's going to help regulate your mood. And whenever that does not do as it should, or you start to have worse problems, well, never mind the fact that you're on a pharmaceutical that is creating these suicidal and emotional swings that are going on inside of your brain with the brain chemistry. Instead, it's your condition is progressing. And so we either need to up your dosage or we need to put you on a new type of medication. Well, how about we just actually see what's going on in the brain? And if you have a brain injury, let's put you in a hyperbaric oxygen tank and let's do 40 dives and let's just heal it. Instead,
I'd like to know what's going on. I've yet had, and I've had some pretty bad, bumps. I haven't had a CT scan. I was like, bro, migraines, can't sleep. Sometimes I have to stay awake to have the migraine go away because when I go to sleep, it comes back. Oh, well, we can give you some, we can go ahead and prescribe you some of this antidepressant.
Yeah.
No, I don't want an antidepressant. I want you guys, like you said, I want you guys to fix me. Maybe if we put Congress under the same care as we are under, then maybe something will happen. Like let's get a test bed, like undercover boss type shit, where somebody from Congress or somebody from the VA goes through the same treatment as goes through the processes. Like somebody's there. All right, I got it on my phone schedule. Okay, cool. And you immediately jump in. Yeah, all right, cool. VA person, undercover boss, listen to what I got to deal with. You know what I mean? Or maybe something like that. But
undercover boss.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, and see, that's the thing. New media is like that now. New media exposes a lot of that stuff. And I'm kind of wondering if matter of fact, guys, if you've done this stuff, you've gone out there and recorded yourself, let us know so we could share it and post it and all that, because exactly that, Jose. The problem, VA gives me pills and doesn't fix it. Exactly.
I remember when I first got out of the Navy, I had tremors. Like I've always had tremors. And I first got out of the Navy and I went to the VA just to find out what the tremors were. And the lady started yelling at me and she was like, "You're not going to get your VA reading increased." I'm like, "I just want to know what the tremors are from." But she refused to even.
Oh yeah. Yeah. See, that's another thing too.
They don't even want to diagnose you.
Yeah, they accuse you of trying to up your shit. And I've told this to several VA members, and I'm like, look, I would gladly give up all my VA money if you fix me. If you fix me back to old Ken. I mean, I know I'll never be the young Ken, but at least old out of service Ken. Then we'll talk. You can have. Matter of fact, you fix me. There you go. I'm offering you this money. I'm offering you that for my VA bennies. To fix me. That's all I want. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of vets out there that would love to be fixed and not take any more money. I'm just blown away because I'm glad you brought that up, because what was it? The Washington Post posted a story about the fraud that is happening with the way vets are being, Oh, that's the thing too, Tanner. Are you? I mean, I didn't want to try to connect the story, but do you guys do VSO type stuff? Like, do you help veterans get look at their records and stuff like that to see to help them out?
I do personally, just because I have experience with the med board process and dealing with the VA. I had a lot of help going through from the organization that I can't think of the name right now, but yeah, I just do it personally, but
Gotcha. Okay.
it's not one of the services that we're offering.
If you guys don't know, a media article went out about an individual that all veterans do is take money. They got like 5 cases of an extreme case that almost made it seem like it broad brushed veterans, that all we're trying to do is get is all we do is we want to use the VA to get more money. And it's like, dude, we use the VA to get fucking fixed. I use the VA to get fixed. You guys use the VA to get fixed. Not I don't give a fuck about, I hate it. The claim sharks. Oh, well, these claim shark guys and all that. Yeah, but okay, got it. There was a dude that was backflipping on a trampoline and he said he was paralyzed. Yes, that's a case of fraud. But somebody that you're neglecting to not see for PTSD or for any other, blood work or like you were saying about the CT scan, just to get your brain looked at. What the hell? And then vets don't want to get better and just keep taking pills. They're scamming the system. Oh yeah, man. See, that's the whole nother culture of the veteran community. The bro vet stuff, the bro vet culture.
Yeah, the notion that we could just get better and not everybody has access to some of the things that others may have access to. And so we have to keep that in mind, that there's a lot of veterans, they get out and they move right back into a state of poverty. Hell, some military members are living in poverty while they're serving, right? Because they're just not food insecurities, all that. But they don't, like I said earlier, they don't necessarily have access to some of these modalities. And Will, is a good example. Will has access to a lot of this, and we're part of this network, and he's still battling with being able to get these out of his system. And so to just assume that it's that quick fix of like, just, go get fixed so you don't have to get a rating. It's not really fair. To put that back on the veteran.
Come on. Will wants to make the big dollars. No, just kidding, man. I'm just breaking balls. Just breaking balls. I don't want nobody to say clip my words. See, he wants to take the dollars. No, again, I would gladly give up all my VA benefits to fix me. Actually fix me. All my issues and maybe change some stuff with the Ferris Act to get me to get a claim from the Army for fucking me up. And some of these cases are, I know, Tanner, you going through the med board process. Sometimes the reason why the med board happens is because the Army messed up somewhere in mill medicine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so
Sergeant Lloyd was a good example of that. He just passed away.
Who?
Was it last month? Sergeant Lloyd. Lloyd, yeah. Sergeant Lloyd, he just passed away last month, and he's a good example of he was healthy in the service, and he ended up contracting cancer from the burn pits. And when he was going to get seen, he got med boarded out. He got, I think, like 20% disability rating. They refused to give him a colonoscopy because they said that he was under 40 years old and didn't need one at the time. Guess where he ended up at 40 years old? On his deathbed, fighting colon cancer terminal. And he ended up passing away, leaving behind 3 young sons. So that's a good example of somebody who was in service. They could have caught it while he was in the service, didn't give him the care that he needed, med boarded him out, only gave him 20%, and then sent him on his way. And he had to come back and start fighting it while he was on his deathbed.
Right.
How many service members are living like that? How many service members have to deal with stuff where it comes and creeps back up 10, 20 years later, and there's no way for you to be able to connect that to your service rating because you didn't get a proper med board?
And then you have to tell the same story 5 different times to 5 different people on your situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're oftentimes doing it from a position of being compromised in whatever way with your faculties.
Right. Oh yeah. Or being agitated, or being angry, or being upset, or being sad, or something traumatic in your mind that you're going through, and you're like, wait a minute. You should have in your record why I'm all fucked up. I shouldn't have to like retell the story again to freaking exactly that, Fafo. It's like screaming at the wall. I shouldn't have to recite my story. I mean, there should be, I don't know. I want to say you have a life guide in the VA system, but something like to where someone is hovering over your records or a group of veterans records to kind of like get the small group method, like how we do on our NCO PDS for our education and something, man. I'll be honest with you. I'm willing to try, or actually, the VA should be willing to try anything new to fix this. So
that's what I find to be an issue with this PR, these PR tours that the VA secretary is doing. You know, the other day he put out an interview where he said, I intend to fix this so that veterans don't have to go to the VSOs and to the claim sharks in order to get their ratings. And I'm like, but what are you addressing specifically? Which of the causes are you addressing? Because it's not just an easy fix. You know, like we said earlier, you go in, you try to get diagnosed with something and you get gaslit. Oh, you're just trying to get a rating, right? Or there's so many issues that lead up to people feeling like they need to go and get this help. Which of these are you addressing? And we're not really getting answers on that.
Yeah, exactly. Man, well, this was supposed to be just a real quick showing for you guys, and now this is what I'm talking about. This is the Brady Bunch freaking resource discussion here. This is what I'm talking about. Guys, thank you guys for hanging out. Tanner, I will provide. I mean, let me tell you that. Janae, I will provide you Tanner's information so that way you guys can connect and go from there. And that way we can all rock and roll. But all of you guys, thank you guys. I mean, oops, you all showed up at the same time. Hey, what? Might as well make a party out of it. I normally don't make that a habit, but for you guys, man, this is good stuff. Tanner, thank you so much for hanging out. Janae, Will, thank you guys for coming on board to shoot the breeze. We're gonna take a break right quick so I can shoot the shit with these guys more. I won't be long, trust me. So we can shoot the shit with these guys a little bit more in the green room, and then we'll be right back. So everyone stand by and shots.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hang on. You guys hang on. Don't move. Don't go anywhere.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hell is a candle, not a big fireplace. It's a girl with blonde hair and tears down her face. It's a lack of emotion, but a devil so warm, with a sense of elation and souls being torn. Thought she was the problem, but I came to find that the thorns and the horns had always been mine. The devil in you and the devil in me are just part of the problem, as problems tend to be. You don't need to explain, we can both feel the pain. It's alright to lose faith, just don't lose this embrace, this devil in me. This devil in me. He met with my mother, said he's the son of a guy, and anybody who knows him is destined to rhyme. Plays the blues like he owns it, and breaks hearts like it's fine. But a lock is away when he's found the one, and he's cursed to this cycle, but he won't know he's there, since I won't let him die until his moment of despair. Oh, You don't need to explain, we can both feel the pain. It's alright to lose faith, just don't lose this embrace, this devil in me. This devil in me.
In the barracks where the madness breeds, a soldier's tale of wild misdeeds, from the chow hall to the PT grind. You won't believe the things you'll find. Drill sergeant's rage, a fiery storm. Private tensions far from the norm in the shadows where the secrets lie. Army W.T.F, you can't deny. Army top of the stories unfold. In the heart of the chaos, the truth is told. From the field to the base, the legends grow. Army W.T.F, the madness we know. A Humvee stuck in the mud so deep. A midnight rain, no time for sleep. Emerge straight like golden hand. The strangest sights in this foreign land. Drill sergeant's rage, a fiery storm. Private antics far from the norm in the shadows where the secrets lie. Army W.T.F, you can't deny. Army W, the stories unfold. In the heart of the chaos, the truth is told. From the field to the base, the legends grow. Army W, the madness we know. A Humvee stuck in the mud so deep. A midnight rain, no time for sleep. Emerge straight like golden hand. The strangest sights in this foreign land. Drill sergeant's rage, a fiery storm. Private antics far from the norm in the shadows where the secrets lie. Army W.T.F, you can't deny. Army W, the stories unfold. In the heart of the chaos, the truth is told. From the field to the base, the legends grow. Army W, the madness we know. In the ranks where the wild things roam, every soldier's got a tale of their own. From the absurd to the downright strange, Army W, it never will change. So raise a glass to the tales untold. In the Army's world where the brave and bold live the moments that make us say, Army W, every single day.
Appreciate Tanner, Will, and Janae doing a Brady Bunch style, show. So there we go. Thank you guys. He was supposed to come on later, but since everyone decided to jump on, hey, why not? Let's rock and roll. The Porta John said, you can go fuck yourself. Oddly, I was like, bring it on, biatch. Oh, what's up, Baconator? Okay, again, thanks, guys. Thanks, guys, for listening in. And also thank you, Grunstyle Foundation, and, of course, Tanner Hance with Operation Wellness Shield. Looking forward to seeing more stuff coming out of that corner of the veteran wellness community. So I was gonna go on a real quick monologue before everybody showed up, but now that everybody's gone and I can wrap up here and do a monologue myself. So you guys already know, just to give you guys an update in DC, is that Specialist Sarah Beckstrom succumbed to her wounds in the DC attack that happened last week. However, there is an update that it seems that Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf is starting to recover. There's signs of him recovering. So I'm rumors from he gave a thumbs up. He's aware. I guess he's waking up. So he was hospitalized in serious condition. So again, this will be updated, and of course, if you watch the news feeds and all that. But our hearts go out to Specialist Beckstrom's family and her teammates for what happened on that day. It's pretty messed up. Exactly that. Prayers out to them. A lot of mixed emotions. A lot of mixed emotions from all communities in this. And what made me mad throughout this whole thing is it did not even take just the moment to happen before individuals were pointing fingers and blaming everybody for it. It's just the sad state of affairs in media nowadays, that now everybody has to point to be right, to be correct, to get the word out first, even if it's wrong, even if the reports are inaccurate. So it's becoming to the point to where now I'm no longer surprised anymore about what the media is doing when it comes to events like this. This was a terrorist attack. And what makes me, what is that? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, Fafo. What makes me mad is that immediately everyone jumped to everything and anything on almost, it seemed like it's justification, or there might have been some reasons on why this happened. Hey, look, you attack a brother and sister in uniform. You're not gonna convince me otherwise. You attacked a brother and sister in uniform, and one of them died. Again, prayers and condolences to her family. But again, I you guys know me. I could blab. I could talk. Even for somebody like me, I was a loss of words on when it happened. And it is gone to, this is fucked up. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Well, I'm so sad. This is upsetting, blah, blah, blah. And now it has come to now it's politicized so bad it's unreal. Now to the point to where now people are looking at, well, maybe the attacker who was a member of a program that was alongside our soldiers in Afghanistan. And now you guys know I'm a big advocate on, ensuring our Afghan allies are being fucking squared away and all that. We fucked them over. We did fuck them over. However, there's no fucking excuse for anybody to do what they did and then blame it because of that, because of whatever processes are for whatever. you know, we always kind of like, I don't want to say joke around, but we've always been like the hey, there's no way the media will turn this into like a Rolling Stone incident. And I'm like, you know what? Just by the underlying tone of everyone talking about how this guy, the terrorist, who attacked those guardsmen, we should look into the reason why. Why is it? And I said, you know, I think these guys are trying to fucking do the Rolling Stone bit. You guys remember with Rolling Stone when the marathon bombers, and I said they're going to try to Rolling Stone the guy, saying that, oh well, you know, he has problems. He was having mental issues, and the processes that were happening. I'm gonna tell you what. There's a lot of processes that I have happening too in my life. There's a lot of processes that veterans are going through and soldiers have gone through that people have gone that have not given them any fucking reason. Any fucking reason to do anything to them. I've never thought of it ever. That because I was frustrated in life that I would take action on my fellow comrades, in my brothers and sisters in arms, in uniform, in a brazen daylight attack. I would never do it. I would never say that the shooter felt abandoned by the CIA. I'm working 9-10 years for the CIA and they never answer my phone call. Dude. No, it's not propaganda. No shit. It literally is. Like I said, I called it myself. I said they're gonna Rolling Stone this guy, and sure as shit they did. Rolling Stone put out a fucking article about this saying struggled with apparent mental health issues after migrating to America in 2021. That doesn't give you a fucking excuse. What's up, Mud? So the CIA leaks messages of the shooters communicating with the CIA to prove that Rolling Stone that the CIA wasn't working with the shooter. In fact, even though he was supposedly working with the shooter. A lot of comments came out of this. This is textbook green on blue, where we had to have our policy changed in Afghanistan to have guardian angels to watch our allies. Same playbook, different country. Now, again, we absolutely fucked the Afghan allies over big time. We did. The whole process, from how we worked with them to how we brought them over here to, of course, the evac that happened and the clusterfuck that happened then. I cannot believe that they are doing the same thing that they did with this asshole. You guys remember this? How a popular, promising student was failed by his family, fell into radicalism, and became a monster. Looks familiar to me. Already seeing all the nice pictures of him being posted up. I'm not posting shit of this guy, other than the wanted posters or whatever. I kind of had to take a step back from social media that day. And also now just seeing how everyone's reacting to it. Because of is why it seems like they're justifying letting this guy fucking do this shit. Nah. If you were an ally, you wouldn't have done it. I would, like, I don't know, set yourself on fire or some shit like that, or do whatever, do a protest or whatever, but not take up arms against us in uniform. America just needs to pull back, in my opinion. It's getting dumb as fuck. Pull back at what? Bacon, are you talking about pulling back on support with everybody? Because again, I could not. Again, now mind you, I could speak to you in several languages to get a point across, and I couldn't even spit anything out. that you would absolutely think that any justification that you're making is why. It's almost like you're desensitizing everybody to make him feel. I don't feel sorry for you, dude. I don't. I do not fucking feel sorry. Once you take, and we've said this before on WTF Nation Radio too. If you're a veteran and you point a gun, any weapon at your teammates, anybody in uniform, I don't give a fuck if you get aerated out. If you were a supposed ally, not no more. I'm just blown away. Just blown away that everybody decided to say, oh, has everyone thought about his mental, how he's feeling? He's having issues. It's a mental thing. He must be going through some problems. What? You want me to feel sorry for him when there's a dead specialist and a critically wounded staff sergeant in the hospital? You want me to all of a sudden, think about his mental health. I'm the comparisons, the back and forth, the well, you got to think about, or what about, because of, doesn't justify shit. They should set his ass on fire. They should set his ass on fire, or have him suffer the same fate that those two soldiers endured. Again, I'm just, and if anybody talks about it, or anybody is again, all of a sudden, of course, they like to try to connect it to Trump, Hegseth, illegal orders and stuff like that, just because they're like, no, these are two different events. Two different. Exactly that, Jose. The issue is complex, but he went after our own. You're no longer our own. You're no longer part of our own group if you go after us. Now, of course, President Trump has stopped anyone from coming in on this program. Now I think it's like hold indefinite or something like that. I don't know. I got to get some, I guess refugee status or something like that, or part of that. I'll have the Afghan relocation. Hang on, let me double check. I don't want to fuck this up. I have people in my fucking DMs. You said it wrong. You know, there are Afghans right now that are saying, "What the fuck?" That have said, "Hey, I condemn this shooting. May she rest in peace. Violence on those who protect us is for 60 years. Afghans have stood on the front lines of counterterrorism. We remain committed to peace and security." That's one comment that I saw. I saw another Afghan saying, "Look, it's going to get fucking worse because we don't know who we let in. We don't know what vetting process we in. Everyone's going back and forth and talking about, nah." Our own must be the complications. I don't know what you mean there, Fafo. The issue is complex. Yeah. Help NATO allies, but not support dumb engagements. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's individuals in the Afghan community that have been here that have seemed to have done it right to stay here. Have done okay. That you know, their heart. I mean, well placed. I'm not disrespecting them. I'm not going to discount what they've said. But you cannot expect. What do you expect when we halt programs like this? When we halt relocations of some of our Afghan allies to increase vetting? You can't help it. You can't help it. Oh, it was just a one-off. No, it's not just a one-off. It's not just a one-off. At this point, it's okay to revet. It's okay to close things down for a minute so you can get a relook with a different lens and see what went wrong. Or see what processes, whatever. But mental health, nah, don't even come with me with that shit. Because on November 29th, there was an Afghan national brought to the U.S. in the same operation as the National Guard shooter had been arrested for making a terroristic threat. He gained permanent status in 2022 under the Operation Allies Welcome and was arrested on Tuesday, the following Tuesday, for posting a video on TikTok saying he was going to bomb. He was building a bomb to target the Fort Worth area. So, I mean, can you blame our government for not being, can you blame our government for being a little bit more restrictive on this? Yeah, I know you're not a bot, Fafo. you respond in kind, unless you're an AI. So again, I'm just okay. Just got word now that National Guardsman Andrew Wolf, shot last weekend by an Afghan national in D.C., is now awake and responsive to medical staff. So there you go. That's the update that I just got right now. So again, prayers, man. Also, our condolences to the family of our fallen soldier. I mean, that dude. This is, you know, when you've been in, especially the guys and gals that have been overseas and to Afghanistan, they tell you about, man. We were supposed to have gone over there to fight it there and not have it fought here, because that was the reason what they said we were over there for. So, just fucking. But, anyways. I was going to go into more further in-depth detail on that, and I had everything set up, but again, didn't mind having my my schedule shifted by the crew. So it's time for some housekeeping. I just wanted to get that out of my system right now, because I'm just fucking frustrating. So hang on, let me open up the calendar right quick. Tomorrow, hang on. Matter of fact, let me pull the graphics here. All right, so today you saw Tanner, Hance, Will, and Janae. Tanner Hance from the Operation Wellness Shield, and Will and Janae from the Grunt Style Foundation. Of course, on Giving Tuesday tomorrow. Let's look at the calendar, see what we got. Let's see. Okay, tomorrow we have Brendan Boogie and Jeremy Dubs. Rock and roll, but this is a Spotlight PR company for filmmaker Brendan Boogie. Matter of fact, let me change this off right quick. Let me change the graphics up for that one. But bam, there you go. Let me open up the. There we go. I'm gonna open those right here. Brendan Boogie and Jeremy Dubs tomorrow. Pop Culture Warrior. With, of course, you know, Mad Mike, Angry Elf, Michael Cotasquillo, CQ, also known as the Pop Culture Warrior. On tomorrow, that's going to be the guest lineup for him. And then, of course, we have... wait, let me double check the calendar to make sure I'm all, because we're starting to slowly wind down for the holidays. So I will not be broadcasting Soren's Time. I won't be back until the 15th. I think I got to guess then too. But let's see, PCW giveaways. Let's see. It looks like we have Sports Bar and a Smoke Pit. It looks like that's still a go. No Sergeant's Time with me and Spanky. No Soren's Time at all for the next 2 weeks, and no Monday edition. But you might see me poking around here and there. Don't say Donza. Don't say Donza Mud. And let me look right here. The station will be closed for the holiday. We were going to have our Christmas Exodus. CQ wanted to make sure I got this out of here. The 21st to the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. And of course, there will be probably short shows or little pop-ups here and there. You might see some tests going on. That's usually when we do all of our tech testing. It's safe, Spanky ain't here. Exactly. But anyways, and then of course, FTX, I think last week was a bye week, so this week they're probably going to be on. Weekend co-ops with Nemo. He will be off Sunday. So yeah, so weekend co-ops is still happening. And of course, you know, The King and Me with the actual King Smith and his wife Michelle. And then of course, moi, the Monday edition. Make sure you share, like, and follow. We're broadcasting live on 5 different platforms. 2 Facebook pages at U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio. 2 YouTube pages at U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio. And, of course, X, formerly known as Twitter. I think that's it. Thank you everybody for hanging out. I think we're all good, right? We're all easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Can you say that? Stop wearing my daddy's hat, little boy. Huh? I don't know who you talking to, Fafo. Anyway, make sure you all have a good one, and hope you all had a good Thanksgiving, and I'm looking forward to rolling into the Christmas time. Make sure you start drinking your eggnog, because everybody knows nog is life. See ya. We don't want to be ya. Night.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Driving us insane. ATF 0 dark 30, no time to complain. Push-ups in the mud, feel the muscle strain. Army life is a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive, in the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Hilltops in the desert, sandstorms in our eyes. Memories for breakfast, no room for lies. Running watches through the night under starless skies. Brothers and sisters, we rise. Army life is a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive, in the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Still Sergeant fury echoing in the air. Discipline and duty we all must bear. Battle bodies by our side in the fight we share. In the face of danger we dare. Army life, it's a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive, in the ranks we thrive. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Souls and firefights, adrenaline's rush. Silent nights, broken by the enemy's hush. Medics on the move in the heat of the crush. In the heart of battle we trust. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find out our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle. Army life, it's a wild ride. WTF moments can't hide. Through the fire we survive. In the ranks we thrive. Memories in our mind. Brothers lost but never left behind. Army WTF moments in the stories we find. In the Army's embrace, we're forever entwined. It's WTF moments in the Army's grind. Through the blood and sweat we find out our kind. In the chaos and the fire we stand aligned. Warriors forged in the battle's bind. Through the smoke and the flames we rise again. In the heart of the storm we find our zen. Battle buddies by our side, our men. In the Army's legacy we transcend.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Я батько. Я молодший брат.
Я водій маршрутки. Я скоро одружуся. Я фанат шахтера.
Начальник отдела продаж.
Я прораб.
Я программист. Я свидетель на свадьбе.
Дядя Юра, таксист. Я вчитель фізкультури.
Я студент-геолог.
У мене своя фірма. Я кращий друг зі школи. Я сусід, який завжди стукає по батареї.
Я єдиний син.